Hey there, welcome back to ObsecTactics. Today we're looking at the Deathguard Relics from their new codex. So, first one in the list, Reaper of Glorious Entropy. I would say, just from the name, this deserves to be better than it is. I really like the name. I'm not too excited
Yeah,
about the actual relic, though.
it's got a really cool relic. This is basically for your
Lord of Contagion.
Lord of Contagion. That's the one. If you're replacing a Man Reaper with this on your Lord of Contagion, you're paying an extra 5 points to get a Man Reaper, and then you're getting the stats from a Plague Reaper again.
Yeah,
Because it's got the same stats as a Plague Reaper, apart from it doesn't have the -1 to hit.
yeah,
And occasionally you'll get a mortal wound out of it. I worked out the maths, and you should get one mortal wound each time you fight from it.
yeah. I mean,
It's
ignoring that -1 to hits, it's all right. It's all right, but that's
it
it.
yeah, it's certainly in the somewhere either in the lower or very bottom middle for me.
Yeah, I'm right with you there. I don't think we need to spend too much time on this. I'll be very surprised if you see too many people taking this relic.
Yeah,
So moving on then, the Plague Skull of Golothilla?
yeah.
Golothilla,
So
we'll go with that.
once per game, at the end of your movement phase, you can pop this relic and roll 7 dice. On 4s and 5s. You do a mortal wound. On 6s, you do D3. So it works out mathematically to about 4.5, 5 mortal wounds.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, if you're using it to get rid of a support character that's only got 4 wounds, like say a company commander in a guard army, so it does an okay number of mortal wounds, but it's once per game, and I think this is probably middle tier because it's got that utility. So sometimes it will kill a unit of 5 sisters. Sometimes it will get rid of a support character, but then other times it will get rid of 1 or 2 Space Marines.
yeah. If it was more than a 6 inch range, if it was like 18 inches, I might be tempted. But at 6 inches, if they've got a support character kind of near my lines within 6 inches, I'm probably killing it in the shooting or charge fight phase. You know what I mean? It's kind of close enough to be already dead.
Yeah, I mean, I I like this relic, but then I like mortal wounds.
You do. You're addicted to mortal wounds, and no bad
Um,
thing. No bad thing.
I mean, it's certainly not a top tier relic, but for me, it sits firmly in the middle tier.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't. I'd like to see someone really good at the competitive scene. Really knows their death guard. Work this in as a way to do, some fantastic kind of, you know, damage to a particular targeted strike to the enemy army. Like you
Yeah, I
say,
mean,
taking out the company commander. But at six
like
inch range, whew,
even if it had a 12-inch range and you could use it from deep strike,
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
I'd use a unit of 3 Death Shrouds and throw this out from 12 inches.
Yeah. Now
But
that would be cool. Okay, so let's move on then. Demon's Toll. So this is a noxious Blightbringer model only, once per battle. Again, at the start of your opponent's movement phase, the bearer can use this relic. If it does, select one enemy unit within 6 inches until the end of the phase. When they try to fall back on a 2+, they can't.
yeah, so again, it's once per game, which limits it tremendously for me.
6 inches again.
And it's 6 inches, but 6 inches to stop someone falling back, you're probably that close anyway. The 1 in 6 games, it's going to fail on you, and you can't command point reroll it.
Yeah,
So to spend a command point, for example, a third relic, to put this on your Blightbringer, that you a Blightbringer isn't in every list because not every list wants that extra inch movement.
sure, sure.
A lot of lists will want that extra inch movement, but there are other Virion models to take, which I think in a lot of people's minds are sort of above the other Virion in the tiers.
Sure, sure, sure. Okay, so for me, yeah, it's. I sadly think this is
Forget,
kind of bottom tier for me. It's all right.
yeah, I mean, it's once per game, and 1 in 6 games, it's just going to fail on you.
Yeah,
And when you've got access to things like the droning contagion that can half their movement and make it very difficult for someone to fall back anyway.
yeah. I mean, if you look at it another way, when you've got I mean things like the droning, but you've got armies out there that can do this with stratagems. You've got armies out there that have this ability inbuilt as such. Maybe it be a warlord
Yeah,
trait. Maybe it be
I,
the Taraxi
I think
stabilizers, or is it the
I
Taraxi
think
stabilizer? Or is it the other one? One of the Admech fly
yeah,
in
I
thing.
think White Scars get it as a warlord trait.
Yep.
That's just whenever someone tries to fall back on a 4-up, they can't.
Yeah, there's Master of Traps. I want to say I don't know why I remember that, but yeah, there's a lot of things out there that allow you to do this either more reliably or
Or more often in a game.
yeah, yeah. So I don't like it. Gotta say I don't like it.
Yeah, it's not up there for me.
Agreed. All right, so let's move on then. The Fugaras Helm. Take it away, Gareth.
I think this is a top tier relic. There are an awful lot of auras on different characters in this book. Yes, the contagions are not auras, so you can't increase your contagion range with it. but
Boo!
you but you can increase the aura on your plague surgeon so that he can now give feel no pain to more than just the units that are giving him lookout sir.
Yeah,
You can, in a very similar way to the Voxis Spiritum is used with Primaris on their Apothecary.
yeah.
Um,
There's so many
it
ways this can be used. So
You can put it on a Lord of Contagion or a Demon Prince or a Lord of the Death Guard and make a 9-inch aura of reroll ones to hit. You can combine it with a Living Plague Warlord trait to make a 6-inch area where your opponent can't benefit from their auras.
this would work with Arch Contaminator then as well, wouldn't it? Yeah, you'd put that
So it's to a maximum of 12. An Arch Contaminator is
6. So you get that up to
yeah. So
9
you could make
inches.
a 9-inch Arch Contaminator.
Not bad, not bad. If you're not running
Like
Mortarion, I'd say that's a solid use for that relic actually.
yeah, so you'll see it in Mortarion lists that, and they'll increase, say, the Plague Surgeon or something else with it.
Hmm.
And in lists that aren't running Mortarion, you could be using it to increase the range on your Arch Contaminator, your Living Plague, your reroll ones. For me, it is certainly a top tier relic from this book.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay, moving on. The Putrid Periapt. Malignant Plaguecaster or Terminator Sorcerer model only. The bearer knows an additional psychic power from any discipline it has access to. Boo. Once per battle, after successfully manifesting a psychic power, the bearer can regain up to D3 lost wounds.
I get what you say, Boo.
If
Knowing an extra power and not getting an extra cast,
hmm,
it if it gave an extra cast, it would be really quite good.
yeah, or if it gave you access to other chaos disciplines.
Oh yeah, if you could use this to on your Terminator Sorcerer gain access to Death Hex
Warp time.
or Warp
Yeah,
Time.
or any of them. They've got some. There's some really good ones out there that would benefit this army so well.
They're the big two I'd use it for.
Sure.
But it doesn't give you those. And once per game, regaining D3 lost wounds on models that have either 4 or 5 wounds. If you could put this on a Demon Prince, I could see more use for it. But because it's only on these low wound characters, if they're taking wounds, they're probably down. Because if you've left them outside of Lookout Sir and someone's managed to get a good hit on them, those D3 lost wounds are just not going to matter to you.
I kind of wonder if it's maybe slightly more useful if we start to see more of these kind of AoE mortal wound bombs from stuff. You know, like the Zoanthrope thing you can do, the old Doom Scythe thing, or the general bombardment mortal
Yeah,
wound.
and the Tesla thing from Necrons
Yeah,
that does mortal wounds to everything in 6.
say he's
So
unlucky enough to take a a fistful of mortal wounds, and you're like, right, he's down to 1. I really need this guy to live. That's the only way I
Yeah,
can see any use for it, to be honest.
I can see that use if there's a lot of like single mortal wounds going out, but if someone's putting a burst of mortal wounds onto your character in, say, a psychic phase, if it's a malignant plague caster, they've got 4 wounds. He's probably not on the table anymore. If it's a Terminator sorcerer, he's got 5 wounds. Again, there's not a huge probability he's still on the table
No.
if someone's going to be able to bombard you with, say, 2 or 3d3 or 2d6 mortal wounds.
Yeah. So this is going to sit again right down at the bottom for us.
Yeah.
Don't think we need to discuss that too much more. Now, this next one I want to like so much, and boy did Gareth and I have a heated discussion about this the other night.
Yeah.
So it's a Tallyman model only. The bearer has the following ability. It's an aura, so it affects all Plague Company core units within 6 of the bearer. Each time a model in that unit makes a ranged attack, an unmodified hit roll of 6 scores an additional hit.
Yeah, so this is the Tollkeeper, and it goes on your Tallyman, which is nice because a lot of lists are going to be taking a Tallyman, because being able to roll 10 times in a game to gain a CP is really good. But unless you're spending an awful lot of points on upgrading all of the weapons in your Plague Marine and Blightlord units, the weapons that you're getting the additional hits from are bolt guns that don't have doctrines. So unless you're against like a horde of orc boys or a horde of gaunts,
just general weak horde, yeah.
Like most things are just going to armor save it.
Yeah, the only I will say this, I will preface this. It very much depends on what Plague Company you're taking. I think this works really well with the Inexorable because the -1 contagion aura they can put out.
Yeah, if you're playing it with the Inexorable and effectively gaining doctrines or AP1 on all of those bolters, then it becomes more useful.
Yeah.
But just as it is in anything but Inexorable, I think it's subpar for me.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So, I mean, I'm gonna slot that right into the middle tier because I do think there is a place for it. I think you will see it from time to time, but
Yeah,
it's not right up there.
It's happily a middle tier relic. It's not a bottom tier never take.
Yeah,
but it's going to be very specific, and it's only going to be what I consider good in an Inexorable list that's abusing that AP addition from it.
sure. All right then. So we move on to the next one. Now, this is the one I'm most excited about.
This one is easily, in my opinion, one of, if not the best relic in the book.
I'd say the best. I'd just go that far. So it's Revolting Stench Vats. It's your foul blight spawn model only, and it gives him the following aura. Now, just to clarify, the foul blight spawn got a little bit of a nerf under the new codex. He no longer put out his foul toxic aura or whatever it was.
He still picks an enemy unit within 3 to make them fight last.
Yeah, but now he gets this Revolting Stench aura with the relic. While an enemy unit is within 6 inches of the bearer, it cannot make use of any rules that allow it to fight first, and it never counts as having made a charge move this turn, irrespective of any abilities it may have.
Yes, so it all but gets rid of Slanesh demons with their fight first shenanigans.
Yep.
It completely shuts down Shock Assault for Space Marines.
Yep.
And the extra attack for Bloody Rose Sisters.
Yep.
Like all these Space Marines that are running.
Don't Blood Angels get their +1 to wound if they charge? Isn't that conditional to charging?
No, it's an extra attack they get, I thought.
Oh, we might have to check that one. Yes, we've just had a look, and indeed, it does apply to the Blood Angels +1 to wound.
Yeah, and it also affects the White Scars +1 damage in the Assault Doctrine, because they have to charge to get that. So there's a lot of on-charge effects that this just completely shuts down. Like the Imperium Sword Warlord traits, you get +1 strength, +1 damage.
The
That's gone.
Outriders getting
The Outriders get extra attacks. So there's a lot of Space Marine stuff that gets these abilities. We're also seeing more armies getting some more of these abilities as well.
Yeah, this is cool.
And as a lot of people have already seen online, you can combine with this the Ferryman's stratagem to make it a 12-inch aura.
Yeah.
That's a big section of board space that Space Marines don't get their charging benefits.
Yeah. Well,
Slaanesh don't get to fight first. It's
any of
so
the
good.
combat Marines lose what makes them combat Marines, essentially.
Yeah, so they lose like 2/3 of their attacks in some cases, like things like Blood Angels.
Yeah, they're losing a lot. Yeah. So yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool.
It's a really good relic, and especially in today's meta, where you've got a lot of strong charging units.
Yeah. And of course, we know that the big difference from 8th to 9th is now that you fight first if you're the player that didn't charge.
Yeah.
This means that when they charge you, you fight first and wipe out
Which,
half of their forces.
at the very
hopefully.
least, is going to dull their attack.
Yeah.
Because if they're charging into you and you fight with a unit of Blight Lords first.
I mean, I would say this even. I mean, we talked about. I don't want to go on about this artifact, this relic for too long, but just imagine taking this in a Harbinger's detachment where you've got Poxwalkers. So that they charge in to clear your screen or whatever, Poxwalkers.
A bunch of Poxwalkers hit them back, and then you get more Poxwalkers.
Well, I was going to say, no, you use it with the reroll hit stratagem and then the mutant strain stratagem to get like 15 mortal wounds off, plus whatever actual damage they'd do.
Yeah.
Horrific.
Being able to dictate who fights first in an engagement is really strong.
Yeah. Or you have again, imagine Blood Angels. Just sorry to pick on you guys, Blood Angels. I do love the Blood Angels, but you're so damn good at the moment, and a great example to use here. They come down upon wings of fire or whatever. They're going to charge with their sanguinary guard. First of all, you use your imagine your what are they called? Mortarian's Chosen Sons. You get your auto hitting Plague Spurt gauntlets, damage 2. So you're going to be killing them on every one they fail. They're plague weapons, so they're re-rolling ones. If they're in range of the Archer Contaminator, they're re-rolling all wounds, and then they'll fight you first in combat as well.
Yeah. Sanguinary Guard are not going to like this.
Yeah, you've got to be really careful about how you charge this guy, anything near this guy. Really good.
Yeah.
It works really well with Mortarian's Anvil as well, where they get the heroic intervention as well, because then you can bring more things around them.
It works with every Deathguard list.
So good.
If you're taking a Foul Blight spawn, there's an argument over why aren't you taking this?
I mean, for me, there's an argument as to why aren't you taking a Foul Blight spawn in every one of your lists, because this exists. All right, so next we're going to talk about the Suppurating Plate. This used to be one of my favourites. Really did. I loved this.
Yeah, it used to put out a lot of mortal wounds. Now it puts out 1 mortal wound if you took damage. So it's definitely been hit by the nerf hammer.
Yeah, just to put it in perspective. So the way it used to work is you got your 2+ save, which you still get, but for every wound you saved on a 2+, they took a mortal wound back. So you'd be loving to charge this guy headlong into Orc Boys, Assault Intercessors, anything that's putting out a high number of attacks. Gene Stealers for fun.
And now it's just 1 mortal wound back if you lost wounds to an attack. It's still a relic slot for a 2-up armor save.
It is. And
which is really going to be good on a Demon Prince.
Yeah, if you're taking the Rotten Constitution Warlord trait, where he's ignoring -1 and -2 AP, and he gets an extra toughness as well, just for a cherry on top.
Yeah, or the other warlord trait, the hulking physique, which effectively gives you transhuman and an extra wound.
Yep, yep, solid use as well.
So there's two good warlord traits to combo with this on your demon prints, but a lot of your other HQs, like your Lord of Contagion, your Lord of Virulence, things like that, they are already getting a 2-up save. And the mortal wound that you put out from it is not going to be worth it on those characters.
I'd say this is upper middle for me.
Yeah.
Last one on the list then, hardly warrants any time on our channel at all.
Yeah,
Plaguebringer.
the Plaguebringer. So it has a morale debuff. So for each enemy model you kill, it counts as 2 for morale for that turn. And it is +2 strength, -3 AP with 2 damage. But stats wise, it's worse in at least one way than many of the weapons you can put on, say, a Demon Prince, or you could use the stratagem to put this on a Blight Lord champion or a Plaguebringer champion, but I don't think it's worth it.
So here's where it goes wrong for me. So the interesting bit is it says here, model equipped with a Bale sword. So that's your Blight Lords, Demonic, Plague Blade, that's your Demon Princes, Plague Knife or Power Sword. If you're going to replace a Plague Knife or something like that, there's a power, you can give your champion or Plague Moon champion a Power Fist. So this kind of becomes irrelevant then to me. I know it's, not exactly the same, but there we go. And then you're never going to replace a Demon Prince's sword with this ever. The only thing it's better than really is the Bale sword, because you'd be getting damage 2 on a Blight Lord, and you'd have to spend 2 CP to give it to him.
It's a difficult one, and I don't think you'll see it in many lists. It's certainly not one I'm looking at taking in any of the lists I'm looking at the moment.
Agreed. Okay then, so that's going to do with the 9 relics that we've got to review, and
the 9 standard relics.
But
so there are 2 what I call amazing ones.
Yeah, so Fugaras Helm and Stench Vats, clear winners in our book. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the relics discussion. So guys at home, if you want to come and tell us where we went wrong again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we got it wrong somewhere.
Yeah,
or there's definitely going to be people out there that disagree with us.
Yeah.
We try and answer every comment in the YouTube section. So come speak to us. Tell us where we got it wrong, or tell us where you agree with us.
Yeah, tell us what your favorite relic is, and what plague company you'd use it in. So on that note, from me
and me
and Big
and
E,
Big E,
we'll see you later.